Hello and welcome back to more Star Wars LCG commentary here from Fully Operational. We are back at the Gamers Nexus Regional, held in the UK in Essex, back towards the beginning of June. And a couple of players you might be familiar with. On the right, playing as Sith, is Sam Pigden. And on the left, playing as what looks like Jedi, is Tim Hobart. So this is round 4 of the Swiss rounds, game number 2 between these two players. I think Sam took game number 1 with the Jedi, so it's time to see if Tim can repay the favour and bring some heat with his Jedi deck. Looks like Sam is running pretty classic Sith for the time. Fall of the Jedi, Plan of the Prophetess for Saris, and the Executor arrives. And Tim, on the left as Jedi, looks like he has the Master's Domain, a Hero's Trial, and I believe that's May the Force be with you, so it looks like Quad Yoda, bit of Luke, all good stuff. Sam starts things off with a Dark Side Apprentice and Mara's Shadow Guard to protect them, but no resources for Sam, so it's always something you like to see as a light side player is no turn 1 or turn 2 resources is good. It keeps your opponent quite low on the resource curve. Tim plays out a speeder bike and a Wolfman. Not often you see a Wolfman played for resources. Usually they can come back from the discard pile when you win a force struggle. But it looks like Tim just doesn't have that many units in hand. Sends in with the speeder bike. Try and lock down Sam's board. Both players committing quite heavily to this edge battle. I think Tim's just trying to ditch his hand. A 3 each and an Echoes from Sam commits the Wolfman. And the speeder bike is destroyed because you lose the edge battle. So yeah, Saris's objective, doing some work there, reduces the number of icons on committed enemy units by 1. So that Wolfman does not actually take the force from the apprentice, which is could be a big turn. 1 extra click on the dial. Nothing to laugh at. Sam has a Palpatine in hand, but with only 5 resources, if he can't get a holocron, that's not coming out this turn. But Mara can for 4. Sam doing his happy dance there, I think. Mara's a great unit, especially when you're low on resources. If you can't afford the Vaders or the Emperors, you'll happily see Mara. Commit her to the Force means she gets all the keywords in the core book, pretty much. She gets targeted strike, shielding, and elite whilst she is committed, so she is a beast. Keeps the Force, passes to Tim, and this is always good. Tim starting to ramp the resource curve up now. And goes to seek Yoda. So we might have a game here. Now, which version of Yoda? I think it's Tactics Yoda. Yep. So worth noting that that combo has actually been restricted now. They're both those Yoda pods, May the Force be with you, and Master's Domain, are now on the restricted list, so you can't take both in the same deck. So Yoda, you seek Yoda. You can still play it, but you cannot go search for that version of Yoda. You'd have to go for the other version that's in Yoda, you seek Yoda pod. May the Force be with you. But back at the time of this regional, early June, that was legit. So, and 3 tactics. Why would you not go seek that Yoda? Now, if you... It's a tricky one whether to attack here as the light side. You've got... I think either option would be fine. You could sit back and build your board, take the Force with Yoda, and slow the game down. But if you can attack and if you're pretty sure you can win the edge battle and keep your units safe, then that's not a bad thing. There's a Jubba Bird, that'll do the same. That can turn off unit damage from anyone who decides to block. So that'll keep Yoda safe as well. Looks like everyone blocking there for Sam. So he wants to get rid of Yoda. I think he may have forgotten the shield on Mara as a defender. We'll see. Tim goes all in. Sam puts 4. So yeah, and wins easily with Palpatine in hand. Shadow Guard strikes for 2, and looks like Sam's just emptying his hand. Gets rid of Force Choke. I think Sam just trying to make sure Yoda doesn't get any damage off at all. Jubba Bird goes in for an unopposed, commits, refreshes with May the Force be with you, and takes the Force. So that is a lively Jubba Bird doing a lot of work. Mara comes back because she is elite now that she's committed. And Sam's still sat on 5, so he can play Vader. He can't play Palpatine if he has him. But there's a Rancor. Oh my god, that's a great defender. Lovely unit. Lovely unit. 3 guns, 4 if you can win the edge battle, and a forced reaction that will eat the lowest cost unit on the board. Which, as it stands, will be the Jubba Bird. Nom nom nom. Not a unit you want to go up against as a light side player. 4 guns can pretty much one-shot most units that you can throw. So Tim sacrificing the Jubba Bird there, A, because it's going to get eaten by the Rancor at some point anyway, and I think he took the guns away from Mara so that she couldn't targeted strike a Wolfman. That Wolfman should be free. Yep, Sam Sam pointing that out. Luke in hand. And it's the new Luke, so if you can get some attachments on him, he can start throwing damage around and refreshing up. There's another Jubber Bird, I think. Tim is just trying to decide what you've got to play Luke in this situation, really. But then it's just, where do you spend your other resources? Do you want to bring everyone back with Life Creates It, or put a Jubber Bird on the table? I think it's just that the last resource that Tim's deciding to spend or not. So Luke hits the table. Looks like Tim's leaving 2 Jedi resources open. One's got to be for the lightsaber there. Another one might be Life Creates It to bring some units back from the discard. Going to bring the lightsaber back, you've got to do it. There you go. Well, he does. I guess he doesn't have to do it at that point. Triggers Luke to do a damage. Luke declaring an attack against Plan of the Prophetess, which is currently undamaged. Looks like the Shadow Guard and the Rancor are blocking. So Sam just buying himself some protection from a lightsaber deflection, I think. If you can win the Force Struggle, I don't think it'll matter. The Edge Battle, I don't think it'll matter. The Rancor will just tear Luke apart. And he will win that Edge Battle. Tim gets a target of opportunity, so we'll get a damage on the objective. So there's the damage from the target, but then the Rancor strikes and destroys Luke. The alternate ending from Return of the Jedi. And Life Creates It. Event there will bring back... Oh, no. Tim deciding to not make that play. It's an interesting one there for Tim. It's that was an event card, so he could potentially have played Life Creates It during the engagement, brought the Jubber Bird back and cancelled the unit damage of the Rancor, and that would have kept Luke alive. 2 Jubber Birds. I think there's a nudge or 2 as well. Oh no, just the one. Yeah, getting Jubber Birds back in the middle of an engagement could have worked wonders there. I don't know if... Well, the time has gone and it moves over to Sam. Mara refreshes and... interesting. It looks like Sam has a Force Storm in hand, which means he's running the Jerick pod. Gives him some nice answers to a swarm of units if the light side ever does manage to get them out. So imagine that'll be a card that Sam holds on to for a while, just in case the light side creatures gets out of hand. Mara targeting strike the Wolfman, but which will still kill it. But Tim gets a lightsaber deflection off to kill off the Shadow Guard. So there's no protectors on Sam's side of the board right now. And Mara's not open on the defense, so it's just the Apprentice and the ISB Liaison available for defense. Now, if Tim can bring out another Yoda, another Luke, a Kyle, there's Yoda. So there's some good options here for Tim on this turn. A lot of fake cards and a second Yoda. And he hits the table. And again, Tim keeping a resource open. So does he have any tricks in his hand? He does have Luke's lightsaber. I think there's one in the discard already as well. And there's a boatload of fake cards there. I think they're Jedi's Resolve, which will take the Force back from the ISB Liaison. But it will mean you'll skip your Force phase, Tim, so you won't be able to commit with May the Force be with you, which is probably what you want to do with Yoda on the board. So I'd be tempted not to play those. So Sam is doing damage with the ISB and then using the action window to sacrifice him. He's going to die anyway, so you may as well get the ability from the ISB Liaison and draw a card. Yoda will get his unopposed, his objective damage and the tactics. Ideally you'd like to put the tactics on Mara, but she has that shield, so that'll just get absorbed. So not a bad option to put it on the Rancor. Keeps it tied down. It won't be available. It has a blocker in Sam's next turn, or it is a creature that's not elite, so that's not going to come back anytime soon. So you've only got the Darkside Apprentice to worry about. You could try for some cheeky unopposed damage with some of these creatures. That nudge is going to die anyway when the Rancor refreshes, so I might try and swing in with a nudge. It's only going to die. If you have some tricks and anything you can do in the edge. Yeah, not a bad shout. Tim does decide that's a good move as well, gets an unopposed. Looks like Sam doesn't want to block. Yoda wins the Force and the Wolfman comes back. Both of them come back from discard. That's a great turn from Tim. And there we see the play. If you'd have played your fake cards, Jedi's Resolve, yeah, you would have automatically won that edge battle, but and the Force struggle, but you would have skipped the Force phase. And Yoda would not be available on the defense. So Nudge gets chomped. It looks like Sam has some decisions here. Sam gets the resource out, so that's finally he's managed to ramp up above his starting resources, so he could start to play those big cards should he start to see them. Five resources. That's got to be Vader. There we go. Commits Vader, takes the Force back from Yoda, and refreshes the Dark Temple. Ooh. Tim doesn't look as if he has much that he can play. He's got a lot of fake cards. Another copy of Yoda, which obviously he can't use. He doesn't have Heroes and Legends to be able to bounce them in and out of play. So just a resource. I am a Jedi. Now again, Yoda is fairly safe on the attack here. He can sacrifice Jubba Birds to stop the unit damage hurting Yoda. Bit of indecision on the attacks here. I don't know if Yoda's... It's like a Wolfman instead is coming in. And I wonder if Tim seems to be pitching the Jedi's Resolve fake cards here. They shouldn't trigger because there's not a unique... Oh, there's not a unique Jedi character in that attack. So that... ooh, that's a bit of a misplay from Tim there. I don't think that Force, that edge card triggers unless you have a unique Jedi character in the engagement. So that should still be Force with the dark side. Aura defends the second engagement from a Wolfman. So it's going to be a dead Wolfman. Unless the Jubba Birds have something to say about that. Tim wins the edge battle. Sam chooses to accept the damage rather than take it on a shield, and Mara should be focused out here at this point. So, well, Yoda won the Force anyway, because Mara did decide to defend, so not the biggest of mistakes. But just be sure to check the wording on those cards. Sometimes they don't always trigger when you think they do. So Sam draws into a new objective. He has Emperor's Web, which just makes his event cheaper. The Rancor chomps a Jubba Bird. It's getting well fed today. A couple of creatures. And if Tim's not careful, it won't be long before the big units start getting eaten. Yoda and the Wolfman, they'll die before before Mara or Vader will. So if left unchecked, that Rancor will just munch its way through Tim's board. Sound of a great player from Sam there, just checking the discard pile. Sam decides to just pass the turn, doesn't play anything out, doesn't declare any attacks, just takes the force and passes, which to me might scream that he's going to do some force lightning action. Wait for Tim to deploy a few units and then zap them all. Yoda's hut. Still not enough to take the force back from Sam. Nope, moves to conflict phase. Sam has an action. It's got to be Force Storm. Youch. So, damage to everyone who's not committed, I think. So the Bogwing will live. So Yoda lives. But will get eaten shortly by a Rancor. And that's what we're talking about. If you can clear the chuds, clear the creatures out of the way, that Rancor will do some work for you. And does Yoda attack here? He can't. Don't think he can take any objectives out. And with all those units on the board, he is going to probably die if he does go into an engagement. Might as well make the attack. He's just going to die to the Rancor, so you might as well get some value out of him. Pitch cards if you can, if you don't like your hand. Looks like Sam's willing to accept that, which to me says maybe he's got a hand of cards he wants to keep. Sam refreshes and then the Rancor will eat him. Looks like Dow goes up to 10. So I think if Sam can get some units out on the board, he might have this game if he can take out an objective or two. A couple more resources. Well, actually, two Master's Domain and May the Force be with you both heavily damaged. So I think Mara and Vader have got this game wrapped up for Sam, but just playing some cards, just make sure Tim doesn't have any tricks. But there's a great board there. 3 mains and a Rancor. Oh, Yoda, you see Yoda comes out in an action window so he can go get... So Yoda comes out as a last-ditch defender. Now, can he stand in the way of Mara? Sam straight in wants to win this edge battle. I've never seen a quicker edge battle. Supporting fire from Tim puts a Yoda in. and wins the edge. I don't know if this will matter. So 1 on Jerick, 1 on Vader to stop them blowing up the second objective. I don't know if there's a way out of this for you, Tim. Yeah. Mara's just going to kill Oh, she won't kill him, actually. She's only got 2 unit damage. I don't know if Mara should have won that. She'd definitely get 1. But she wouldn't get the unopposed. Oh, it only has 4 health. Master's Domain. So, silly Andy. 4 health objectives. Got to keep your eye on them. So, a great game there from both players. Looks like Sam's board of mains, Mara, Jerick, Vader, plus a Rancor. Proved to be too much for the Jedi there. But you can see the tricks that the Jedi can play during this meta with that many copies of Yoda. You're sure to be able to have some tricks up your sleeve. So a great game there from both players. Sam takes another clean sweep, another 6 points, and moves in to the championship rounds. So let's see what the top cut looks like, and I'm sure I'll see you guys in the following videos. Cheers.